Hello everyone, you're welcome back to this special segment of our discussions, and with me I have Mrs. Bimbo Shubowale, Assistant Chief Commercial Officer, Lagos State Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperation. She's here representing the Honorable Commissioner of her ministry, Mrs. Saidat Olayinka Oladunjoye. Thank you very much for coming, ma'am.
Thank you, ma, for having me. Good morning and happy Women's Day.
Yeah, thank you, ma. So I hope you've been enjoying today.
Yes, it's been quite interesting.
Thank you. Quickly, let's look at the impact of financial independence of women in terms of growth and development. How has it been? Maybe you've been in the ministry for a while, taking a space of 10 years now. Can you give us an assessment?
I would say that finance is critical to businesses, like you very aptly noted. Finance is very critical to businesses, and for the women, women issues since for over a decade, women have suffered, particularly with access to many things like finance. And I would say that on the part of my ministry, on the part of the state government actually, the development of small businesses that we call micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, has been at the heartbeat of this government in particular. And for even more than a decade, we've steadily been working towards empowering more women day by day. I would, like you would know, on the part of our government in Lagos State, what we've done to enable more women get access to finance and get them running their businesses easily has been the setting up of the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, which is an agency that has very well, in about just less than 4 years, disbursed loans to quite a lot of women, particularly, though it's, when we say gender balance, it's both the men and the women, but we particularly understand the constraints women face with the issue of inclusion. So I would say that many women in Lagos State have gotten opportunity that the average conventional banks wouldn't give them through the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund.
Let's still stick with the contributions of the Lagos State government into the SMEs, and let's stick with that for now before we go into the banks and the microfinance.
Okay.
So what has Lagos State put in place?
That's what
Lagos being the heartbeat of Lagos.
That's what I'm saying. The Lagos State Employment Trust Fund is a dedicated financial empowerment vehicle through which the government has been giving businesses, small businesses in particular, access to credits ranging from 500,000 naira to 5 million naira. And the interesting thing about the fund is that it is disbursed at just a 5% interest rate, which is the cheapest in the whole country. So that is one way that the government has helped to ameliorate people's access to finance.
Okay. On that, supposing I want to access that loan, do I need collaterals? What do I need to access the loans?
No, you don't need any collateral actually. Okay. The collateral basically is the existence of your business. The Lagos State Employment Trust Fund is an agency of the state government, actually outside the purview of my ministry. But because we are one government, we work like when our SMEs come to us, you have a financial need. We, like other sister agencies in MSME development, could refer them to the Employment Trust Fund. So the basic requirement is ownership of a viable business.
So how do you prove that? Knowing that many of our women are not really educated enough to have maybe an account, a viable account documents to show.
Actually, it starts the process of finance. It's just that you picked it from the issue of financial inclusion first, but the process actually is like the finance access is like an end before they get eligible. It's a whole process, and the process starts with orientation. The way government has been run over the past 10 years has been to sensitize this women. You don't, because you are illiterate doesn't mean you shouldn't keep even the basic records. Yes, and they are really schooled, believe me. There are many agencies of government that do training and retraining, even for
in the markets.
Yes, even from the markets. I can tell you very well. Let's take the artisans, like the informal sector is what you're referring to. There is a ministry dedicated to empowering the informal sector. That's the Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment, and they take care of artisans, men and women, particularly women. You know, we would always say women. The opportunities in Lagos State is there for everybody, but you and I would agree, like even statistics has proven over time, that women are the mainstay of the economy, particularly the informal one. So we have a lot of women out there, and we have opportunities for them. So we do training, even like back to school. They get trained even as artisans, as market women. They get trained with bookkeeping and understanding their finances, and then the basic things you need to demonstrate to bank. Now also on financial inclusion, coming back to my ministry in particular, we have a department, a full-fledged department. That's the third arm of the ministry, the cooperatives. The cooperatives takes care of both the large enterprises and small informal women who otherwise who would be excluded from seeking economic opportunities. So what we encourage them to do is form clusters according to trade, according to allied trades. Like you have cooperatives of maybe women selling charcoal, cooperatives of women in farming, cooperatives of women in agro-processing. So when they form cooperatives, and you know the heartbeat of cooperatives is about pooling resources together. So that's one of the ways that as a government we have helped to make sure that no woman is excluded from getting financial access.
Your ministry, do you help in monitoring the microfinances too? Do you have any plans?
No,
because we have a lot of women who have reported, to us, let's say to us, that when they access some of these loans, let's say especially, have you heard of Lapo and all these microfinances? Then they have several tales of woes to bring, to tell that how they've been dealt with at this. Do you have any system whereby you help these indigenous women, from falling victim, or when they run into problem, maybe you help them?
Actually, because these agencies, particularly the Lapo you mentioned, is like an entity on its own. Yeah. So as a government, all we try to do is provide enabling environment, both for the market women and the business owners on one hand, likewise for service providers like Lapo. So we really do not, as a ministry, we don't regulate the operations of Lapo, but through the instruments I've mentioned, particularly through Lagos Employment Trust Fund, through all the sensitizations we do and engagement we have with women, we try to give them incentives. You can beat it. If you want a 50, I don't think Lapo would give a woman more than 100,000 at once. So if you want such fund, and you know that the Lagos Employment Trust Fund is there, particularly giving you monitoring and mentoring, that is already a disincentive to go to Lapo. So, but generally the loans we give is disbursed. The Employment Trust Fund is an agency on its own who would check books, see and ensure eligibility of the loan, of the person needing the loan. The agency that disburses the loan is the Ibile Microfinance Bank. Okay. That itself is a competitor to LAPO or any other microfinance bank. Ilibile Microfinance Bank is a structured agency on its own, and I think they work through some other recognized government-approved microfinance banks to make these loans accessible to women that need it all over.
Okay.
So that is a loan. With that and with sensitization going, we try to discourage women from going to microfinance banks that are not government approved. The Bile Microfinance Bank is always there to disburse the ETF loan.
For the benefit of the celebration of today, can you just give us the process for accessing, that women can access the loans from government?
I said
for the benefit
of today, whether a woman is involved in a small business, even at the informal level, from the small business as a micro informal operator to being a small registered business. So it's a matter of scale. So you would know where you would fall. Even maybe there are loans, I think even 250, depending on your need.
Okay.
And your eligibility.
Okay.
So all that is required, the first thing is an economic presence, having a business. Even if it is a shop, you can take a survey around the streets of Lagos. The hairdressers around will tell you it is very easy. They never knew it was. I was speaking to a hairdresser one day, and she said she never knew it was so easy to get, and that was around Christmas. She was able to access money from Employment Trust Fund.
Wow.
So the basic requirement is ownership of a traceable business, and the officers in charge will take it up from there. But I won't tell you, it is not you can say it is not, let's say it's collateral free. Collateral as in the sense of the legal collaterals that conventional banks would expect you to have.
You don't need to come and drop your land.
No, you don't.
You don't need to come and drop.
So just take a walk to the office, the Lagos Employment Trust Fund office.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mrs. Bimbo Shobowale.
My pleasure.
We're really glad to have you here. And then you've heard it all from Mrs. Bimbo Shobowale on how you can access money or funds from the Lagos State government. And we all know that financial independence is very essential to equality, to gender equality. Because if a woman is financially independent, most of her challenges have already been taken care of. So thank you very much for
Can I?
Okay.
Something I would like to say one of.
Okay. Please forgive us for the sake of the celebration for today.
For the sake of the celebration and to do justice to the agency I represent, we are, like I told you, we just work hand in glove with other agencies. Basically, in the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, we are like the umbrella body for all government agencies involved in economic empowerment of women, involved in business generally. So we have the Lagos State Council of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, domiciled in the Ministry of Commerce on the MSME Development Desk. And what this desk does is to give access to women and men to access to them for business support initiatives beyond financing.
Okay.
Financing we talked about is just one of it. Okay. We provide market access. We help women go to trade fairs and exhibitions.
Okay, Mrs. Bimbo Shobowale.
And a lot.
Okay, I know she has a lot for us. She has a lot for us. You can send your questions to her through our contacts, and she'll take them up. And some of them will also take up by ourselves. Those ones we can deal with. Thank you very much for watching.